Hi, this is Stacy Phillips, and this is my video log for Wednesday, August 14th, 2013. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about habits, and I had a conversation, actually it was kind of a Facebook chat with a friend from Sweden. This morning, actually, I had been discussing the fact that I get up at 4:30 in the morning in relation to a funny incident that happened yesterday when I locked myself out of my house after spilling water in my lap on my way to see my personal trainer and having to come home and change and so on and so forth, which ended up me being locked out of my house at about 6 in the morning. So I said something like, so much for, why do I get up at 4:30 again? Remind me why I get up at 4:30 in the mornings again. But my friend from Sweden said, why do you get up at 4:30 in the morning, by the way? And so that kind of prompted a response from me because I had to think about that for a little bit, remembering why I instituted this habit. And really, the bottom line is this. I am not a morning person. Far from it. I didn't used to be a morning person, let's put it that way. But I wanted to be. I wanted to have that be part of my identity. Um, I get a lot done in the mornings when I rise early. It's a discipline and it sets my tone for the day. It allows me to be more disciplined during the day, and it also allows me to get lots of things done that I would not have gotten done otherwise because I'm able to order my day a little more. Oops. Great. Okay. I just got a text. I'll just turn that off. But thanks. Woohoo. Yay, Karen. Wow. Um, so, anonymously, Karen, you don't know Karen. So, Karen, if you're watching this, I just got your text. Cool. So anyway, we were discussing then why again do I get up at 4:30, and I remembered that I instituted this habit for lots of reasons. The first one was because I wanted to become more disciplined, and I know that people who rise early tend to get more done and tend to be more focused and more successful. And so, although I was not a morning person, I ventured to become so. But the second reason that I started getting up so early was because I found that when used to be a night owl, and I think it's kind of in my DNA to be a night owl. But when I'm up late, the rest of my family goes to sleep around 9:30 or so, quarter to 10, and if at that point I would go out to the couch and sit down and settle in for a movie. We don't have cable. We got rid of it 2 years ago. But we do have Amazon Prime, and, Prime has a lot of free movies. And, we do have a PlayStation 3 so we can play DVDs. And we have an Xbox so we play Blu-rays and DVDs anyway. So we have a pretty good collection of movies, and I've seen them all, of course, but I always like to pop in one and sort of relax. It was kind of my unwinding time anyway. So I would find that when the family would go to sleep, I would come out to the couch and pop in a movie, and more often than not, that would start, even though there's not any commercials in movies or anything except for other movies, really, that would, start me thinking, well, I really could use a glass of wine. It's nighttime, it's been a long day, those internal conversations you start actually talking to yourself with, and so perhaps I'd open a bottle of wine, or perhaps if there was one open, I'd have a glass, thinking I'll just have a glass. And it usually was just a glass. Sometimes it would be two glasses, but what that would lead to would be, a little tiny bit of cheese, like maybe an ounce or two of cheese would be really good with this glass of wine. And then a couple of crackers to put this cheese on would be fantastic with this wine. And it was almost as if, it kind of opened the floodgates to that little bit of inhibition that I would have had to not eat off plan was broken, and I had no reason now to not eat off plan. Plus, I had a glass of wine in me, so why not? I'd lose sight of my goals, and I did that pretty consistently for a while, and it caused me to not further my goals. I was kind of stagnant in my health goals. So what I decided to do is, instead of focusing necessarily on the habit that I wanted to change, that what I didn't want to do anymore, In fact, I didn't focus on what I didn't want to do anymore because, I mean, what am I going to do? Go ahead and go to bed with my family and then sit there and go, I can't go out and watch a movie. I can't go out and watch a movie. Don't go out and watch a movie. I'm not going to have a glass of wine. I am not going to have a glass of wine. No, I can't have a glass of wine. I mean, really, that all I'm thinking about then is watching a movie and drinking a glass of wine. I mean, it's when you focus on what the behavior that you don't want to do anymore, it's really counterproductive because you're creating tension in your brain that needs to be resolved somehow. And 9 times out of 10 is going to be resolved by doing exactly the thing that you're telling yourself you don't want to do. And that's just how it is. So, but what I found was really true, and this, speaks back to principles in Dr. A. It also speaks back to principles in a book I'm reading called Habits, The Power of Habit, Why We Do What We Do in our personal life and in business. But really, you don't focus on the habit you want to change. You focus on what you want to replace it with. And then that edges the other one out by default. So, for example, what if I got up at 4:30 in the morning and I started to do that? Because that's a healthy habit. I've been wanting to do that, and so I started doing that. And guess what? 9:30 rolls around that night. I've been up since 4:30. I'm really, really not interested in staying up for another hour or two. Wine or not, I want to go to bed. So I go to bed. Then 4:30 comes, I wake up again, and by 9:30 the next night, guess what? I am pooped. I just want to go to bed. So, I wasn't really even thinking about going and watching a movie at 9:30 anymore. I didn't want to go watch a movie. I mean, it's the last thing on my mind because the first thing on my mind was I have to get up at 4:30. So I may as well go to bed at 9:30. So I did. So that was the discussion we had this morning about habits and what unhealthy habit that you've been trying to change have you been focusing on so much not doing that it has just become almost an obsession, or you do it even more now that you're trying not to do it. So stop focusing on that and start to focus instead on what you want to create with this process. What habits that you want to bring into your life. Start bringing those in. Just bring them in and start doing them consistently. And more often than not, they will edge out those unhealthy habits. You just won't have room for them in your life anymore. So that's my, that's my topic of my blog today. So hope you liked it, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.